You could have had the power of the gods, yet you wear a flag on your chest and think you fight a battle of nations. I have seen the future, Captain. There are no flags.
This nation was founded on one principle above all else: the requirement that we stand up for what we believe, no matter the odds or the consequences. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move.
Welcome back. Today we have a Threat 18 battle featuring the Avengers, led by Captain America, with Iron Man, Captain Marvel, The Vision, and Winter Soldier. Facing off against the Cabal, led by Red Skull, featuring CROSSBONES, Ultron, Ronan the Accuser, and Baron Zemo. Pick cards for the Avengers are Avengers Assemble, 1-2 Punch, Second Wind, Ricochet Blast, and Follow Me. Cards for the Cabal are Dark Reign, Cosmic Intervention, Patch Up, Field Dressing, and the Age of Ultron. Today's mission features Panic grips the city as the evacuation efforts continue. Place 4 citizen tokens that are interactable throughout the map, each worth 1 victory point during the cleanup phase. And portals overrun the spider people. Place 4 inherent portals throughout the map. Each portal has an interact feature. Whoever controls it gains 1 victory point during the cleanup phase. And we have today's board. And we begin round 1. The first activation is Iron Man, moving and claiming a citizen. Next is CROSSBONES, who will move and then pick up a citizen. Next up is Captain Marvel, who will make a move and then pick up a citizen. Next is Ultron, who will move and then activate the portal. With a wild, he successfully activates the portal, and with a skull, he activates the 2 pushback. Next, the Vision will opt to move and then use the power Synthesize. Next, Red Skull will move and then activate Cosmic Cube. Luckily, he rolls no skulls and takes no damage, but gains 3 power. Next, the Winter Soldier will move and then attempt to claim the portal. Unfortunately, he is unsuccessful. Next up, Ronan will move. Then he will pick up the civilian. Captain America moves and then moves again. Baron Zemo will move and then he will move again to get himself to the portal. At the end of round 1, the score is 3-2 in favor of the Cabal. The battlefield as it stands at the end of round 1 as we enter round 2. Alright, so Red Skull's first activation will be to move. The second activation will be use the Master of the Cube to pull CROSSBONES up with him. And after this we had our first real error of the day. Long and very silly story short. So there were some rules confusions And then some dice got moved, and we ended up believing that Red Skull had rolled 2 wilds and not 2 criticals, and that his sap power would activate twice at the slightly before the energy absorption power of Captain Marvel. So the way that this ended up being was that the Red Skull gained 2 power from sap, and the Captain Marvel gained 2 power from energy absorption, and Captain Marvel took no damage. Next up is Iron Man. He's going to use the tactic card Ricochet Blast, targeting Baron Zemo through Captain America. He'll roll 7 dice, re-rolling any that miss. Total of 8 damage. Baron Zemo will roll his physical defense with 1 critical. With 2 blocks and 2 skulls, he can't use Strategic Genius. Takes 6 damage. For Iron Man's second activation, he will move. Next up is CROSSBONES. He will take a knee, followed by attempting to activate the portal. And he is successful. Next up is Captain America. In his first activation, he will attempt to take the portal. And he is successful. Next up, he will use Shield Throw against Ronan. He rolls 4 dice with 2 criticals. He's able to turn it over for a total of 6 successes. It's at this point that we realized we hadn't put the Judgment token on Iron Man from the Judgment ability used at the end of last turn, so it's put on to him now. And then we roll Ronan's defense. He is successful twice, taking a total of 4 damage. The next activation will be Ronan, who will start with Universal Weapon aimed at Captain America. Ronan rolls, and with criticals, he is successful a total of a whopping 7 times. Captain America will roll his defense, succeeding 0 times. 4 damage is dealt. He's pushed small. Ronan opts to push him into the car, causing him 1 collision damage. He and the car are the same size, so the car remains. He is dazed. Ronan's second activation. Next, Ronan will use Universal Weapon against Iron Man. He's successful 4 times. Iron Man will roll his defense. Iron Man will successfully roll 1. Then taking a further one away from Invincible Iron Man. Before that damage is dealt, the free weapon will push him small. This will cause him to collide with the car the same way that Iron Man did. He'll take 1 damage from that for a total of 3 this activation. Winter Soldier's going to activate and try to take the portal. He is successful in taking the portal. Next, he will use Assault Rifle on Crossbones, rolling 4 dice with 4 successes, including a wild for the bleed effect. Crossbones will roll his defense, getting no defenses. He will activate Injured to Pain to reduce the damage by 1, taking 3 damage. He'll also activate Aggressor. Next up, Ultron will move, followed by a second move. Unfortunately, he is not arranged to do anything useful. Next up is Captain Marvel. For her first activation, she will use Energy Blast against Crossbones. With a total of 2 successes. Crossbones will roll for his defense, getting 1 success and using Injured Pain to negate the damage. For her next activation, Captain Marvel will use Rocket Punch, also aiming at Crossbones. This time with 3 successes. Crossbones will roll his defense. With 0 successes, he will use Injured to Pain again and take a total of 2 damage. Next will be Vision. His first action of the turn will be to use a superpower calculated trajectory to throw the building next to him at Ultron. He will use a day unlike any other to reduce the cost by 1, making it a 1 power. This will do a total of 4 damage to Ultron. Ultron will roll a dodge roll, succeeding no times, taking 4 damage. Next, the Vision will do his first activation, choosing to use the power Solar Energy Beam to the target of Crossbones. Vision rolls only 1 success. Crossbones will roll his defense, getting 1 success and taking no damage. Vision's second activation will be Solar Energy Beam again at Crossbones for a second time. Vision rolls 1 critical and 1 wild. This will cause Vision to gain 1 power. Crossbone rolls his defenses and fails twice. Unfortunately, even with Injured to Pain, this will still be enough damage to cause Crossbone to be dazed. He will also drop his civilian token. At the end of round 2, entering round 3, the score is tied with a 6-6 point between the Cabal and the Avengers. First up will be the Winter Soldier, choosing first to make a move. His second activation will be to use Red Fury against Crossbones, rolling 7 dice with 3 successes and a critical. Still only 3 successes. Crossbones will roll his 4 defense. With 1 critical, only making 2, paying 1 power for injuring Injured to Pain to reduce the damage by 1. The next step in the Red Fury will be to push Crossbones back. He'll hit the object, taking 1 damage. Then Bucky will finish his turn with the assault rifle. With 1 success, Crossbones will have 1 critical success, negating all damage. Next up is Ronan, the Accuser. His first activation will have him move. His second activation, he will target Captain America with True Justice. Iron Man is just outside the range of the explosion. Only dealing 2 successes. Captain America will roll his defense with 4 successes. Next will be Captain Marvel. Her first activation will be to move herself close enough to the portal to contest it. Her second activation will be to attempt to claim the portal, rolling 3 physical defense. She is not successful. Next, Red Skull will activate. His first activation will be to move. His second activation will be to claim the citizen. Next is Captain America, who will use Strike against Ronan the Accuser. Completely whiffing his first attack, he will go straight into trying again. This time he was a little more successful with 1 critical, 1 wild, and 1 hit. Ronan will roll his defensive dice. He is successful 1 time, taking 2 damage. This will trigger the Accuser, since it will daze Ronan. He's going to target Captain America with free justice. A total of 3 successes. Captain America is going to activate, roll his defense. He will use Vibranium Shielding for 1, thanks to a day like any other. Unlike any other. Thanks to I Can Do This All Day, he is successful twice and takes 1 damage. Ultron is up next. His first activation will have him move close enough to the portal to activate it. He will then activate the portal. With 2 criticals, he is successful. Next up is the Vision, who will make a move, allowing himself up to hit Red Skull and Crossbones with his solar energy beam. First he will hit Crossbones with 1 critical, a total of 5 successes. Crossbones will roll his defense. Unfortunately, he gets none. Even with Inert to Pain, this will be enough to remove Crossbones completely. Then he'll fire on the Red Skull, this time having 4 successes with 1 wild. Red Skull has no successes in his defense, so Vision will sap 1 power and deal 4 damage. Next up, Iron Man will activate. Setting his sights on Baron Zemo, he will use a Repulsor Blast. Two successes, including a wild. Baron Zemo is successful twice, able to block the damage. Zemo is still pushed back from the Repulsor Blast, hits the container behind him, and takes 1 damage. Baron Zemo will then attempt to use Counter Strike. He is just within range to do so. He rolls his Counter Strike dice and is successful 2 times. That is enough to daze Iron Man, him to drop his civilian. For the final activation of turn 3, Baron Zemo will make a move and collect the civilian token for the Cabal. At the beginning of turn 4, the Cabal has taken an 11-8 lead. They only need 5 points to win. They currently have 5 with the 6th token behind Ronan. Easy to pick up on the first turn. So Captain America would have had to stun and stagger from taking damage from Ronan's Creed Justice, so those tokens were added. First up is Red Skull. His first activation will be to move. Next, the Red Skull will use Master of the Cube to place himself within 2 of his current position. After this, Ultron will use the Team Tactic card Patch Up. He will spend 4 energy to remove 4 damage from the Red Skull. Next, the Red Skull will unleash the Cube on the Winter Soldier, rolling 7 dice with a whopping 3 criticals. Not able to turn any of them over for a total of 6 damage against the Winter Soldier. He will roll his defense dice with 1 success. The Winter Soldier ends up taking 5 damage total, enough to daze him. Captain America's turn. His first activation will be to shake the staggered condition as required. His second activation will be for the shield throw, aiming at Baron Zemo. Rolling 4 dice with 2 successes. Unfortunately, no targets for the ricochet effect. Zemo rolls his defense, rerolling with Strategic Genius, still making none and taking 2 damage. Next, RonantheAccuser will go. His first activation will be to pick up the civilian behind him. His second activation will be Universal Weapon against Iron Man. After rolling his dice, he only had 3 successes, but he did get the push effect off, pushing Iron Man back small. Iron Man is not within cover range of the car any longer. He rolls 3 dice and is successful 3 times, with 1 crit. Next will be Vision. He will target the Red Skull with Synthezoid Avenger, rolling 7 dice. One extra for the critical, with a total of 4 damage. The Red Skull will roll his physical defense. Rolling 2 successes and taking 2 damage. Vision will try again with Synthezoid Avenger again. Again getting 3 successes. Red Skull will roll and he will be successful twice, taking 1 damage. Next up is Baron Zemo, who will start by activating Master Swordsman. He'll then strike Iron Man with Sword Strike. Rolling 5 dice. Unfortunately, he made a mistake and re-rolled the skull for Master Swordsman. Then the 2 from critical for a total of 5 damage. Iron Man rolls 4 physical defense, 1 critical, taking away 3, plus Invincible Iron Man for a total of 1 damage. Next, Baron Zemo will try Steel Rush using Master Swordsman again. Successful 4 times. Iron Man will roll his 4 dice. Extra for the critical. Successful 1 time, plus Invincible Iron Man, taking 2 damage. And to complete Zemo's turn, he will move as part of his Sword Rush, and Iron Man will gain the bleed condition. Next up is Iron Man. For his first activation, he will move. For his second activation, Iron Man will use Unibeam, able to get Zemo and Ronan. His first attack against Baron Zemo, he has 2 successes, and after the critical. Baron Zemo has a 3 defense against energy, and with that is able to block all the damage, taking none. Next will be the roll against Ronan. Again, rolling all 6 dice, this time only getting 2 successes. Ronan rolls his defense, is successful once and takes 1 damage. Captain Marvel will go next, attempting to turn the portal. With the success, she is able to turn the portal. She then uses the Avenger Assemble card for 1 power to move short, putting her in range to cast Energy Blast on the Red Skull. Unfortunately, the Red Skull has enough power left to use Hail Hydra and switches the target to Ultron. She rolls her attack With one critical, she is successful 3 times. Ultron rolls his defense and is not successful at all, taking 3 damage. Next up, Ultron activates. His first activation will be to move himself close enough to Captain Marvel to use Metallic Fury, choosing to make it a physical attack. With 7 dice. And 1 critical. Ultron makes 5 successes. Captain Marvel's physical defense is 3. She will be successful twice, taking a total of 3 damage. And with that, we have ended round 4 and we enter round 5. Adding up the tallies for both teams, the Avengers have 2 portals under their control and 1 civilian, netting them a total of 11 points. While the Cabal has 2 portals and 3 civilians under their control, netting them a total of 16 points and winning them the game.
Ha! Captain, you have fallen short in the face of my overwhelming genius. You may cut off 1 head, but 2 will take its place. Remember today, the day you failed to stop me. Hail, Hydra!